The first part of this ritual is to do a binding ritual. You may burn incense and cleanse yourself before. You can also do this on the dark moon. To myself I call, the self who I am in my dreams, the self that I am to the gods in the name of my divine right to be myself. I declare, let the space which I define be for me and me alone, a place where none other can transgress. I cast a circle round about me in, all others out. You're going to write out all the things you want to let go of and visualize these things as black tethers attaching themselves to you. And then you will take your athame, your hand, a stone, your wand, whatever you may have, and you're going to imagine slicing these tethers away. Imagine the black fog being transferred to an object of your choosing, if you would like to do that, if you'd like to bind it into an object, or you can just visualize it cutting away completely. You can also attach your list of things you want to let go of with that object. I bind you in thought, that you may not think ill of me, suspect me, or plot against me. You may not return this work on me through thought or prayer, by chance or will. You may only do as I will you to do. Your feral power will be used for the good of my higher self, my divine self, my ego made whole and no longer fractured, for I am divine. My feral self made better, a protector of myself and others, a protector of the divine, of this planet, and of this existence. The broken and dastardly parts of myself have been healed and now can be used for the good of humanity and of the divine wills. So all the correspondences you have used to create for your lower self will be used in this ritual, as much or as little as you would like. You can dress as them if you want. Whatever you feel the need to do to invoke the lower parts of yourself. Now, if you want to bind it into something and not keep it within yourself, or you don't want it to be completely untethered, I recommend creating an effigy, whether this is a poppet, a bottle, like as if you're creating a genie. You can use a candle and drip the candle wax over it. And then you can place the effigy in a box if you feel like you may want to use it in the future. Or you can bury it, burn it, put it in a river if it's biodegradable. Also, if you're going to bury it, please let it be biodegradable. These are all just some suggestions you can do to either put that lower self to rest or to claim it to be able to use for better purposes. That is the first ritual. I recommend also doing the activation you created for your lower self within it as well. For this one, I recommend doing it on a full moon. And there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can use candles or a goddess you relate to, or if you want to paint yourself, draw yourself, use AI to create a version of yourself as your higher self, whatever you feel necessary to feel connected to that part of yourself, I recommend doing so. I also recommend doing this on a full moon. To myself, I call the self who I am in my dreams, the self that I am to the gods in the name of my divine right to be myself. I declare, let the space which I define be for me and me alone. A place where none other can transgress. I cast a circle round about, me in and all others out. I call forth the guardians of sight, smell, taste, touch, and sound. Bring my higher self to life. May it be enriched with the 5 senses. Call forth the higher self. You will then use the name and the activation code that you have created for your higher self. First origin of my origin, first beginning of my beginning, spirit of spirit, the first of the spirit in me, fire given by God to my mixture of the mixtures in me, the first of the fire in me, water of water, the first of the water in me, earthy material, the first of the earthy material in me, my complete body. Hail, O Lord of water, hail, O Lord of fire, hail, O Lord of air, hail, O Lord of earth. Grant me access to the divine. Grant me access to my divine self. Make me whole. Make me reborn anew, ready to take on the actions towards deification. No longer a martyr, but a knight for the divine and the good of humanity. Grant me access to the aspects that are needed for me to bear this weight. Grant me access to my true and complete self. Now draw the double pentagrams. I, born mortal from mortal womb, but transformed by tremendous power and an incorruptible right hand, and with immortal spirit, the mortal aeon, and master of the fiery diadems, I sanctify through holy consecrations, while there subsist within me, holy for a short time, my human soul might, which I will again receive after the present bitter and relentless necessity which is pressing down upon me. I, your name, whose mother is their name, according to the immutable decree of God, since it is impossible for me, born mortal, to rise with the golden brightness of the immortal brilliance. Stand, O perishable nature of mortals, and at once receive me safe and sound after the inexorable and pressing need, for I am the son, I am the daughter of the mighty gods. I shall look within for my source of faith. I shall look within for my source of power. I shall look within to dismantle my illusions and others that I face. I shall embody light and love. I shall honor the gods. Now draw out the energy of the earth and draw down the energies from above. Balancing myself and others, I come into contact with. I shall transmute the negative into positive. Give revelation, O Lord, while being born again. I am passing away, while growing and have grown. I am dying. While being born from a life-generating birth, I am passing on, released to death as you have founded, as you have decreed, and have established the mystery. Now, I recommend doing breath work. And for me, I do breath of fire, and then I do several deep in and out breaths. Then I hold in my breath for at least 30 seconds. I breathe out and hold again for at least 30 seconds, if not longer. And then I go back to normal breathing. And that is one round of breath work. You can do more if needed. Afterwards, you may then baptize yourself in oil, water, smoke, ash. I decided to use smoke from the ash of my fire. And then, for the rebirth, you'll do breath work again. And again, do as many rounds as need be. So this comes to basically the end of the ritual. There is another option of doing this each day with 2 candles. You can do it for as many days as you feel necessary to come into contact with your higher self. What you would do is you'd write your intention on the paper and rip it as many times as you want to repeat the practice for. So if you just want to do it for 3 days, rip the paper into 3. And then you'll place it in between the 2 candles. So the one candle will be representative of you and your current state, and then the other will be of your higher self. So I would recommend your lower self maybe be red, and then your higher self be violet. And then each day you repeat the ritual. You would burn the paper each time you do so until you come to the last one. And each time you would meditate visualizing on your outcome coming into fruition and imagining your higher self coming into you. Indulge in the feeling of freedom from your vices. And what you would do is you would be moving the red candle towards the violet candle each time after you burn one of the shards of paper. And then at the end of that specific ritual, you would toss the remnants of the spell into a body of water that is moving. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can obviously just skip it. It's just an alternative of the ritual and to keep it going. You can also simplify it and just do the visualizations and the candles and not do all the beginning over and over and over again. But if you feel that's more powerful, of course you can do so as well. If you're not doing the candles, we will then draw the double pentagram again. And then you'll thank all the deities that you brought in for your work. Thank you, guardians of sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch, for aiding me in my journey. Thank you, lords of the elements of fire, water, earth, and air. Thank you, gods, for your assistance in my rebirth and reconnection to myself. To myself I call, the self who I am in my dreams, the self that I am to the gods. In the name of my divine right to be myself, I declare this circle open.